OS2 Linux, Week 6, Day 10. We reviewed the Unit 1 exam, went over it, and then process schedules in memory. Covered that. Talked a little bit about coursework, make sure we're on track. Did a little bit, we talked about booting to multi-user, and we did a little bit of work on scripts. Not much time to do any lab work in reality. So we talked a little bit about the resources that the kernel can access, all the input-output, managing memory, and what gets access to the processor. So let's diagram here. We talked about the kernel, user mode, processes functioning, being processed. We could talk about creating a new one, becomes ready, and then the kernel decides if it's going to go into running mode. So we have the whole idea of scheduling and what things happen synchronously or at the same time, and what things have to happen individually in terms of who's getting access to the processor, where things are in memory, writing things back and forth to storage. So you can have a process running, and then it might need an I/O to storage, and so then it could become blocked while the I/O is functioning, and one that's ready can be processed. Then when the I/O is done, this one would move into ready. Okay. Kernel. Does that make sense? And we have this communication as being ready. The kernel could say, okay, now this one can run, and now this one's running. So how does it decide all those things? Well, the kernel's got to do some type of scheduling. First of all, before we talk about scheduling, we talk a little bit about threads. The idea that processes can have shared memory and then can have multiple threads, multi-threading. Those threads can run concurrently, asynchronously, where they have to be put in the timing, or some threads can run completely independent of the others. Synchronous threads are threads that run at each knowing where the other one is in order to make a processor, in order to make good use of the processor and for the program to function correctly. Now, a couple other things while we're here. We have two other machines we can log into. I've got the addresses here, what operating systems, what user, and then here's the password. So you could log into Work Server 2 and then access either one of those if for some reason your machine is not functioning. We talked about booting to different boot levels, and we looked at some information in the etc systemd system file. And we looked at a symbolic link in terms of booting. Finished of the day talking about scripts. Test your scripts before you run it. You want to put your scripts in the bin directory, and then the bin directory should be in your path. Talks about that in the curriculum, how to add it to your path, and we can go over that in class too. Then every script has to be able to find the interpreter, and so this is the very first line in your script. You can add comments, and then you can list your commands. Once you create the script, you have to make it executable, change mode, and then the name of the script. And if you don't have a path, if you don't have in your path access to this, you can be in the bin directory and you can execute your script using a dot and a slash in the name of the script. We have the midterm over chapters 1 through 9 on Wednesday. That's it.